Okay, next session is about Firebase implementation. So first we will see what is Firebase, introduction of Firebase and how to create an account in Firebase. So Firebase, what are the applications we are developing? Now the era is of prototyping. That means we are trying to develop a prototype 1, that is version 1, and if we are releasing into the market after the users using it, if you want any features to be added, we are doing it in the next version. That is why we call it as rapid prototyping. So getting a new ideas, bright ideas using this prototyping. Sometimes what happens, the applications are large and the work to be done in the application is more. So the limiting factor for some of the application is server side coding. Server side coding or applications using server side coding or lack of knowledge using server side coding is one of the limiting factor for some of the applications. So for that we are going for Firebase. Firebase, it is a cloud. Like we are in our syllabus we are having Firebase. That's why you are using Firebase. You can try it out with AWS, Google Cloud, different types of clouds you can try it out. But we are having Firebase. That's why we are seeing what is Firebase. Firebase is a backend as a service, also called as BaaS. So it has been started as YC11 startup and it is grew in the next generation as an app development platform. So Firebase is an app development platform, or you can also say it as Google Cloud platform. So Firebase is a real-time database that allows us to store different list of objects in a form of a tree. That's why we say it supports NoSQL or JSON database. So in order, you can also synchronize the data between different devices using Firebase. So Firebase basically is a cloud platform. So here this is the symbol of Firebase. So Google Firebase is a Google backend application development software. So here what it allows or what it gives the developers is, it allows the developers to create different types of apps. So apps you can develop using Android apps or iOS apps, or you can also create web applications using this Firebase. It is also called as a serverless backend. That means automatically the backend will be run. So for this Firebase can also be used for fixing the bugs in the app crashing, or you can also report those bugs, or if you want to track or you want to do analytics on some data, you are having some large data like COVID patient data, or you want to do any applications, okay, any applications like population tracking. So you are having large type of data, you want to track the data and do analytics on that particular data. So the Firebase also gives different types of tools for doing analytical part also. You also have ML tools where you can apply ML algorithms in your program. Using those algorithms you can execute that and you can also apply analytics. In the same way, you can also create marketing and product experiments. Firebase also provides different tools for tracking, for analyzing, for fixing the bugs, creating the apps or creating web applications. So here Firebase has three main services like real-time database, and you also have user authentication, and you also have hosting. So these are the three different ways where you can develop things, you can grow the things, and you can also earn money using this cloud. So developing part here is, it is a real-time database, it is having authentication. Authentication means whenever you are opening something, you are trying to open the application, then the secret keys will be generated which are in an encrypted format, or you are trying to open any mail. So you are going to get some OTP or any app, or any, you can say mobile authentication like one-step authentication, two-step authentication, like the data is been authenticated. That means whatever the data you are storing in the cloud is secure. And you can store lot of data, like data can be in a text format, document format, it can be in a video format, or it can be audio format. So any type of data can be stored in the cloud. Hosting means whenever you are creating your app, you can host it on any web application. You can prepare a dashboard of that particular app. You can also have testing, like A testing, beta testing, alpha testing, that also you can do. You are having some testing tools which are supported by this Firebase cloud, and you can also report if there are any crashes. And now you can also raise some notification. App indexing. App indexing means you have created the app and you want to index into the Google search. So if you type the your app name into the Google search, then anybody can download and use it. So these are some of the main services that are provided by Firebase. And why we are going for Firebase is, Firebase manages real-time data in the database. So easily and quickly you can exchange the data from one database to another database. Hence, for developing mobile apps such as live streaming apps or chat messaging apps, it is easy using Firebase. Next, Firebase allows synchronizing the real-time data using different types of devices like iOS devices, Android devices, and web devices or web application. So without refreshing the data, you can synchronize real-time data. That means continuously you can monitor the data. Firebase also provides integration into Google advertising or ad mobbing. You can also integrate with Data Studio, BigQuery, DoubleClick. So Play Store also you can integrate the app whatever you have created using Firebase. So and you also have great management and maintenance is also given by this Firebase cloud. So everything from database analytics to crash reports are included in Firebase. So the app development team can stay focused on improve your experience using this Firebase cloud technology. So basically the pros or advantages of Firebase cloud technology is, Firebase is a real-time database where you can continuously monitor, and it is massive storage size potential. Different types of data you can store here. Firebase is serverless. This is very important, where backend is done automatically. It is highly secured by providing authentication. It is most advanced host BASS, backend as a service solution. It has a minimal setup because it is an open source. You can just create an account into the cloud. It provides three-way data binding via Angular Fire. It also provides simple serialization of app state, and we can easily access data or files using authentication. In the same way, you also have some disadvantages or cons to the Firebase. That's why you got new cloud technologies now. Firebase is not widely used or battle tested for enterprise, like enterprise or a business applications, high-end applications. This is not much suited. You can try it out on this, but it is not much suited. It has very limited querying and indexing. So you are using JSON technology, you are using no SQL querying. You are going to do for retrieving the data, you are using querying. So querying is supported to the limit only. So it provides no aggregation, and it has no map reduce functionality, like you are seeing big data into the market now. So that uses map reduce functionality. So that is not supported in this Firebase. It cannot query or list users or sorted lists. So these are some of the disadvantages of Firebase. So till now here it was the just introduction what is Firebase, and now we are seeing how the procedure for creating the account in the Firebase. So step 1 is log in to your Firebase account using this URL. Then go to the Firebase console application. So you will be getting the window like this, welcome to Firebase, when you are typing the URL, and then here you are having different types of the tools. After creating the account, whatever the project you are created, you can upload onto the cloud here. Second step, create a new project and fill in the necessary details. Now previously here you have seen the button here. So this window you will get after creating the account, after you are getting your secret API key. You can add the project here. So project can be added here. So for that second step, create a new project and fill in the necessary details. So what is the project that you are trying to create? The name of the project you are going to mention here, like Raspberry Pi, what is the project and what is the location, India, and then create a project. You are going to click a button on create a project. Next, go to the select develop and then click on database in your project. Here you are having real time data, cloud, Firestore, beta data. So we are trying to do an application using real-time database. So after that, database appears and click on the real-time database. Get started is the button you should click. And the next step is step 4. Next, go to rules here. Now basically the default authentication, when I am opening my account, you need to change the authentication. Like default you will be having null, you are going to change the authentication. This step is very important, otherwise you can't open the account, and what are the project you have created, you can't dump it, or you cannot write directly onto it if you are not changing the authentication. So changing the default rules is very important. So here just replace the following code null with your read authentication null, write authentication null. That rules you are going to change. Like this, you are going to write it as read true, write true. If you are changing this, then you can write the data or write the project into the Firebase cloud, or if you have created already, you can post it onto the upload onto the cloud. So for that, changing of this default rules is compulsory. This is for the first test. Anyone can read and write your database without authentication. If you are not doing this as true, anybody can open. You can make it as public also. Apply the above code to Firebase rules, then click the publish button to develop the rules. So in the previous you can see, after changing the rules, you click on the publish button. That is what given the point here. Next, go to database, real time database, and then data. So here real time database, in data you can see Raspberry Pi, the program name, and what is the authentication. Next step, open the Python IDE here. You can open the Python IDE, new, and write the code in that particular space. Save the file with the name dht-firebase.py. This is the file name that you are going to store if you are writing code in the Firebase. Thank you.